come out healthy. You want to see them perform on a big stage, but the big thing in the back of my mind is that they come out of it healthy.
How competitive can we expect it to be?
Everything we do around here, we're competitive. Everything we do, we're going to compete. So it's going to be competitive.
You guys have a format in mind of how it's going to.
It's up to Frost. I really don't know how they really do it around here, but it's up whatever Frost wants. So I don't really know the format. He'll let you guys know.
How's the passing game look, do you feel like, so far in camp? And what would be a positive thing on Saturday for us, for fans and the media to see? What do you want to see from it Saturday?
We want to see it crisp. We want to see it. The timing. But it's like I said before. It's hard when you're playing with 4 or 5 quarterbacks and you're playing with 10 to 12 receivers. So the timing might not be there all the time. But you want to see the best timing that we can get on Saturday. That's what we're looking for.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, how much better has that gotten?
Well, no, it's gotten better. It's gotten better from the first walkthrough. And we were just talking about it this morning, Whip and I, that it's gotten better from the first day of walkthrough to now, just detailing route concepts and detailing the routes within the concept.
I know kind of when you got here, you like Oliver's route running, what you saw sort of off the film. What has he shown you throughout the spring?
Omar?
Oliver.
Oliver's a kid that, that he didn't have a lot of confidence in himself, and I always talk to him about believing more in himself because he's a really good player. He's a really good player, and he showed a lot of explosiveness in this spring that he can run by people, and he's got really good hands, and he's a really high football IQ guy. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with him in the summer into fall camp.
Might as well ask you about Omar, too. How have you liked his slot work and how that's going?
Yes, he started in the slot, and he picked that up, and then we moved him back out to X, and that's really helped him. So we think his natural position is going to be X, but the best thing about it, he proved that he can learn 2 positions. So he learned R, then he went to X, and he's been fine.
What would be your report card on Trey Palmer at this point? What do you like about him going through this entire spring?
Well, just the transition, what Trey has been through from Louisiana to Nebraska, because I've been through that transition. From Louisiana to Nebraska. Right now, I'm going to give him a B because he's really doing a great job of transitioning from Louisiana to Nebraska. The way we practice at Nebraska, LSU, the way we practice it now. But he's really coming out with energy. He's playing hard every snap, and he's doing his best to help this team win.
Do you have a particular play that you like that he's shown?
I think he's catching the ball much better than I had him before. I think he's using his hands a lot better, and on the deep balls, he's really good at that right now.
Why is it being that name for Trey?
Because we talk about a finish line. I think when you get an A, kids kind of say, oh, that's the finish line, everything's done. So I want to continue to make them chase. So we talk about a finish line in our room, and it's not a finish line. The finish line will be in January.
You talked about not being a real vocal guy, but wanting to lead by how he plays. Have you seen other guys in the room sort of get in line behind him or take to his style in the room?
I think they all have. I think they all have seen, the way that he works, that he don't mind working and how hard he practices, how hard he finishes, and the things that he do, on the field when he's on the field, that he finishes runs. So I think a lot of kids take after that.
Talk to you since Zavier left. Is there anything you can share about him and what he was working through and also how you guys have filled that role?
Yeah, we visit with Zavier right now. He's not on the team right now, but we visit with Zavier, and we're going to visit that again down the road. Like I said, it's going to be Frost's decision about what he wants to do with him. But, my thing with Zavier's going to all be a part of me, and then part of this program. But like I said, we'll deal with that down the line. We tell them like this: if you're here or not, they're gonna kick the ball off. If Coach Mickey's not here, they're not gonna say, okay, let's postpone the game until I'm ready. No, we got to have people, the guys in the building. That's who we're gonna play with.
Who's filled in the role, since spring break? Who has helped? Who stepped up in that position?
We moved Omar over there. We moved Omar to X, and we move Alante to Samar, and we also have Wyatt that's doing a really good job, and then we just moved Brody up, with Trey. So we're fine.
You talked about some of those young guys that haven't played so much. Is there anybody in that group that's really made a big leap over the spring or stood out to you as maybe being able to get themselves into
Yeah, I think Ty Hines had a really good spring. You know, not just in the receiver room, he has a really good spring on special teams, and that's part that's going to get you on the plane is that you can go in special teams. So he's really a surprise because he's really a kid that really just works. He just works and he plays hard. He plays 100% every snaps, and he gives you his all. So he's the kid that I thought, a young kid that made a leap.
Ricky, do you feel like any one of your wide receivers can make a significant contribution to the special teams?
I think they all can. I think they got to have want to. You know, they got to want to do it. You know, and they will do it. I mean, because that's what we preach in our room, that we're going to play special teams.
Mickey, what's Saturday going to mean for you? I mean, I know it's just a scrimmage, but you're going to be back in Memorial Stadium.
Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. You know, I think it's gonna be a little weird. Walking back in there after probably 30 years. But I think once the ball kick off, the focus will get towards the game. But you're gonna appreciate being back. You know, you appreciate being back in Lincoln. Every day that you're here, you appreciate it. So I think just going in there, it's gonna be a little different. But I'll be fine.
You talked about obviously knowing Casey Thompson and his dad a little bit as that recruiting process was happening. What have you seen from him? You've been up close and personal with him now for 5 weeks of spring ball. How has he sort of taken control or shown leadership or just established himself?
Yeah, I think with Casey's he's the same way. He had to transition, from Austin, Texas to Nebraska, and I think he's doing a really good job. And I think he's getting to the point where he's learning who he's throwing the ball to. He's seeing it better right now. And I think that we all got to have a good summer on the offense side of the ball. We all got to have a good summer, and I think the summer's going to be big for Casey with the receivers.
Mickey, when was actually the last time you were here?
Probably the last game I played here.
You never came like when you were coaching high school in Omaha or yeah.
No.
The last time you played?
Yeah, last time I played. Yeah. Then I started coaching, so I really couldn't come back. But it's been a long time. I think it was my senior year at the Oklahoma game. I think Oklahoma was the last game my senior year. No, my senior year we played him here.
Isaiah's a guy I think he's been out or limited some this spring. What do you think you have in him, and what's the key for a guy who maybe doesn't get a lot of live reps over the course of the spring?
First thing we got to make sure that he's in tip-top shape. That we got to make sure he starts running and gets more running in because he's behind with that. But he's a high football IQ kid coming out of New Mexico State. So I'm not worried about the mental part. I'm worried about the physical part, getting on the field, running the routes, and catching the ball. He's going to know what to do because he's a high football IQ kid. But my thing is making sure he's in shape, making sure he's running the routes, make sure he's catching the ball.
Is he a guy you think can play multiple spots too, or do you have sort of
Absolutely. He can be outside or inside.
Mickey, with your group, did you get everything accomplished this spring that you wanted to?
No, haven't. Like I said, it's no finish line. We got to have a big summer ahead of us. We got a lot of work to do, and they understand that. I understand that, because you can't say, hey, it's spring football. I love the spring game, I really do. But at the end of the day, they're not going to count that spring game in October. They're going to start counting when we play Northwestern. So we got to have after this spring game, we put this to rest. We got to have a really good summer. We talked about that, about having a great summer for us just working and still getting to know each other now. They're still filling me out. I'm still filling them out, getting to know my players. But I think that this summer is going to be really, really important for us.
So you may have asked this question, but me being a Louisiana native, also with Trey, talking about you being from Louisiana too. How have you kind of helped him adjust to the climate in Nebraska when you coming here to play?
I told him he needs to have a lot of Tony Sastries and put it on his food. Because that's the only problem that he has right now is the food, that the food's not spicy enough for him. So I told him, get you some Tony Sastries, but he's got to eat because that's one thing. He's a picky eater, and I know that. So he will eat Cane's every day, or he eat Panda Bear, some Panda thing he eats. I don't even know what it is, Panda Express, but he eats that a lot. But that's with Trey, and letting him know that this is really a football state. You don't really the only show in town. And all eyes will be on you everywhere you go. And he's understanding that, and he's been really good about that because he's not a kid that hangs out a lot. He's a homebody. He's here or he's at his apartment.